Hey everyone, it is Artosis again. This is game number 2 of EmpireKas against mouzMaNa. It is a best of 5 from the Go For SC2 Cup. And of course, look at that, I get the replay from sc2-replays.net. Really awesome site. So the map is Delta Quadrant down here. We have my hero of Protoss versus Terran. I love his style. It is mouzMaNa. And up here we do have EmpireKas. Quite a good Terran, but last game definitely made some mistakes. Just kind of blindly assumed that there was going to be Colossus after he saw some observers. And that's almost a fair assumption, really. Every Protoss has been going for so many Colossus, just assuming that's going to be the best way to fight off Terran, those scary bio balls. But even though Colossus seems to be this unbeatable, amazing thing in Protoss versus Protoss and Protoss versus Zerg, in this matchup, I really do feel it is going to switch over to High Templars. Some of the best Korean players have been practicing behind closed doors using that style, and I think it will definitely continue in the future. Now, anyways, Mana, a very good StarCraft 1 player from Poland. Very young kid, a lot of potential, just came off of a second place DreamHack, and that is just so impressive. A lot of great players went down there. Huge amount of upsets and all that stuff, but Mana played very, very well, barely lost in the finals. A great player indeed. Now, EmpireKas, he hasn't had as much luck in tournaments, but I see his name around quite a bit, so he's definitely quite active in the scene and a good Terran player. Now we see this time EmpireKas going to go ahead, take his gas, a more normal build, not one of these fast expansion ones. On this map, of course, making a fast command center, you really, I mean, this is almost impossible to defend against a nice Stalker Sentry Zealot ball. You'd have to have so many bunkers, probably use this as your line. That's just too wide. So much smarter to actually tech up a little bit is Kas. Now, let's take a look at Mana. Is getting that Cyber Core, is getting that really quick second gas, which he obviously needs because he loves to get those observers out. Kas, what is he going to choose to do? We may be seeing a factory here in a moment to get some minerals from that mule. And gonna go down, scout Mana. Second gas is up, immediately mining from it. I'm sure we're gonna see a sentry coming out pretty quickly here. And alright, it's time for you to build something. Ooh, a second barracks and a third barracks. Alright, so actually it looks like we're gonna see probably some upgrades from EmpireKas. There we go, the tech lab going down. Maybe some stim and combat shields, perhaps. Well, of course he's going to get those upgrades. I mean, he's going to get all the upgrades from here except the Reaper one, because that one is sucky. But 3 barracks play, so that's pretty tricky. I don't think Mana would be expecting that right now, because obviously he sees, okay, you have a quick gas, you have 1 barracks, my probe's in here for a while, no other barracks are up. Okay, it's probably going to be a second gas than Banshees or something like that. But in fact, it's going to be 3 barracks timing. Let's take a look at Mana. He's already got this robotics going. Has his second gateway going up. This is Mana's build, man. It's quite awesome. It's going to give him a lot of intel. But this timing rush might hit a very, very nice timing. With sentries, though, of course, you can block this ramp off and buy a lot of time. Still, it can be quite scary because when you are buying time with sentries, that is a lot of resources put into sentries, which are not really going to do any real damage against the Terran army. So you have to be careful and balance the number of sentries you're actually going to make. Now, a double reactor going up for Kas. Pretty tight build order, actually, and he's going to have just the right resources to support all this and actually get an attack going out there. Nice little supply depot going down to watch for any pylons that could warp stuff into his base. But a chrono-boosted observer is coming out. Notice Mana taking down these back rocks. He can expand here quite easily. In fact, that would be optimal against what his opponent is doing, but Mana obviously does not know about that quite yet. And so he may go ahead and expand out here when he wants to finally expand. Now, the observer is going out. This is a very similar build order to what we've seen Mana do before. He probably will go down and make a Nexus at this point. And making that second observer as well. There goes the Nexus going up. And, ooh, this timing at this Nexus with only 2 warp gates out, I don't think it's possible for him to actually hold this attack off. So when this attack comes, If it comes too quick, he can maybe cancel the Nexus. If it comes a bit slower, I think he should probably sack the Nexus. I can't imagine him having enough units to stop it. Alright, he sees now exactly what's going on. The Observer entering the base. And mouzMaNa immediately starts an Immortal. That's one of his production facilities. You may as well. It's not very good against Marines, but can do a lot against the Marauders. And out come mouzMaNa's units. But here comes Kas's attack. And this is simply not going to be enough to hold off what Kas has here. He does have Stim. Combat Shields are on the way. Concussive Shells, not quite. But realistically, canceling this Nexus, going up your ramp, holding it, and expanding back here would put mouzMaNa ridiculously far ahead. We'll have to see what he decides to do. If he actually tries to battle this, he might lose the game because Kas's army far superior. Kas walking back. Oh my god, Kas all-inning. A lot of SCVs coming up as well. What will mouzMaNa do here? We're going to have to see in a moment. And here we go. He lets the Nexus finish. He thinks he might be able to hold it. And, oh, no, you're not. He figures that out pretty quickly. Loses a few units on the way. He's going to have to... Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Making the force field there. He is going to lose that Nexus, but he can kill off some of the units that are up here. And he has... Oh, he loses a sentry. You got to be so careful and pull those things back. And, but he does have plenty of force fields right now. Has 2 more, and by the time those 2 are gone, you'll have 2 more after that. So, definitely his ramp not going to be broken right now. We have a bunch of damaged Marine Marauder. And no, don't be going down there, mouzMaNa. And he's going to want to force field just right. Let some units up the ramp. There you go! Trap the rest and kill them off. But don't lose your sentries! Oh, it's painful to see that happen. Got to keep those sentries alive. And now it's looking like he actually does have enough units to perhaps take that out. Another Stim would really weaken this army. Now let's take a look. What is EmpireKas doing? Getting a second refinery up. Looks like he is heading over to maybe attack these rocks. May want to expand to a gold base. A very good choice when you're being so aggressive. You know, he doesn't have all that many SCVs. Take a look, 21 against the 38 mouzMaNa. And with only 21 SCVs, one of the great things about a gold base is not just that it's gold minerals and they mine quicker, but you can put less SCVs there. It's going to be less supply, less money put into making SCVs, and that's actually kind of a big deal. So good choice by Kas because he does have map dominance right now. mouzMaNa, though, beginning to look good, getting his Twilight Council up, getting this expansion up in the back where he's just completely able to defend so easily. And it looks like, what is this? Factory made. Looks like we're going to see some medevacs being made quite quickly. Even moving for the reactor to help those medevacs make quicker. And we do have, where is it? The Templar Archives coming. Psystorm going to absolutely rip this composition apart. Look at this. He's had reactored barracks for a very long time. Has so many Marines out there. And basically all mouzMaNa has to do is get quite cost efficient with that because the unit composition that we're seeing from Kas is not really the best against High Templars. He doesn't have any Ghost Academy yet. You really, if you're going to go Marine Marauder against this, you'd have to have that Ghost Academy up. It's actually quite important. You have to EMP the High Templars or things get pretty gross. Now, Kas sending a ton of SCVs over to this base. Psystorm on the way. And looks all pretty standard right now. Double gas is going up for mouzMaNa, of course. He's got to get those upgrades going. Just chrono boosting this out. And look at this. Hides the High Templars. I love it. Look at this scan. Does not see what mouzMaNa is doing. Look at this. Bam. Has no idea. He hides the High Templars back here. He wants his opponent not to know this for as long as humanly possible. He's saying, okay, stay on this tech route. Yeah, you see my observers. Maybe you'll counter again on Colossus, and I will do great. But right now, Kas is doing very well with his gold minerals, dropping down some mules, in fact. Let's take a look at that income. mouzMaNa just slightly up because he does have the much bigger probe count, but with that mule joining in, bam, bumps it right up. Very similar incomes right now. But production facility-wise, not a ton of production facilities for Kas here. It looks like he just wants to get a good surface area and anything that comes out, such as a Colossus baseball. But really, High Templars don't care about that nearly as much. We do see just trying to scout. Did it see? Nope. Still has not seen exactly what's going on in mouzMaNa's base. We have concussive shells just finishing up. And Kadarin Amulet as well as the Zealot Charge is on the way. Some more warp gates as well. So it's going to be basically the same unit composition mouzMaNa really likes in this matchup. Zealots with charge, and of course a lot of High Templars, and that is just going to rip this apart in ways that I cannot explain. Once the Marines die, let's take a look at the supply first. 110 against 103, so very similar supplies, but the problem is a lot of the supplies in Marines for Cass, which are going to be negated by Psystorm quite quickly, especially if there's no EMPs. And if we take a look, no Ghost Academy being built still, just more barracks adding on. So he really does not have the right counter. But look at this. A nice little harassment. Almost missed that. Sorry. And, mouzMaNa. Looks like he's maybe just moving out. That's interesting. May want to get a, oh, he has the Observer to check out for that. But anyways, this is a pretty sick army against what we see from his opponent. And this is going to be gross. Look at this. Psystorm's going off. And mouzMaNa just kind of on the move command loses a lot of his High Templars there. But look at the damage he's already done. Everything in the red and the orange. Oh, just melting, melting, melting. Oh my god, mouzMaNa just crushing through here. Speed Zealot's going to be able to clean up whatever the Templars have damaged. Look at the supplies. Cass's supply drops down to 75. mouzMaNa up at 98. And oh my god. The feedback on those medevacs, just beautiful. And things are looking grim for Cass right now. Up into his base does go mouzMaNa, and he is pumping out a lot of Marauders, but this Immortal going to help out against that hugely. Notice that it is being targeted down a little bit, but now an Archon up there as well, just killing SCVs left and right, and 11 kill, 12 kill Instructor Archon, 8 kill Immortal. Wow, 2 hit points. And it is looking like Cass is going to be pretty dead. 54 supply against 88. But he is doing some drops over here to try to catch back up, killing some probes. More units going to warp in over here for mouzMaNa, though, to try to clean this up. And the Zealot plus Stalker combination going to do an okay job, especially if he uses his probes a bit. In the meantime, the Immortal regaining his health quite quickly. And it just looks like there's not going to be any way. This drop absolutely not going to be enough to keep poor Cass in the game. More and more gateways being made for mouzMaNa. In fact, he's even on 3 base against like a gold base. Oh man, and just a bunch of Marines popping out. He's trying to just micro along with the dropships and the Marauders. Trying to just clear this up, figuring, okay, I still have good income. Maybe I can just pop out enough units to live through this. But mouzMaNa right now, his income is so superior. Well, it doesn't look it because we have a ton of mules over here. And one that isn't even mining. But that's just because the mules, the economy, when it drops back down to normal, is going to be way in the favor of mouzMaNa. So right now, mouzMaNa just keeping the units in his base. Cass trying to keep hope alive, but I do feel the end is coming before Cass. Over twice the supply mouzMaNa has. More and more Zealots just streaming in. More and more gateways being made. mouzMaNa basically waiting for Cass to out. I think Cass probably doesn't know how far behind he is at this point, with mouzMaNa having this additional base. And I think that's about it. Yeah, there goes the little tag. And Cass has left the game. Kind of frustrated, I guess. No GG there. But that is it for game number 2. mouzMaNa takes the lead 2-0 in this best of 5. So check it out. Game 3 coming up.